In 2022 and 2023, Prime was unstoppable, pulling in over $1.2 billion in sales, sponsoring global powerhouses like the UFC, WWE, and FC Barcelona. But now sales have plummeted by over 90% from their peak, and the once-hyped drink is being sold for less than $1 on clearance racks. So what happened? How did the biggest creator brand in history fall apart this fast? Was it KSI and Logan's greed that destroyed the once untouchable giant? Or was Prime always destined to collapse under its own hype? To figure out what happened, we have to go back to the beginning. Prime launched in January 2022 when two former boxing rivals, Logan Paul and KSI, teamed up to create a hydration drink. The launch was an instant success, with the announcement video on Logan Paul's channel racking up over 8 million views and 400,000 likes. In the US, demand was so high that resellers were flipping bottles online for over $100, and in some cases, even $1,000 each. When Prime finally launched in the UK, the hype reached another level. Stores couldn't keep up with demand, and restocks sold out within minutes. By the end of its first year, Prime had generated over $250 million in sales. Just 1 year later, that number skyrocketed to $1.2 billion, making it one of the fastest-growing beverage brands in history. But that would ironically mark the peak of the company, because soon after, cracks began to appear that threatened to destroy the entire brand. The first major crack appeared that same year when CoffeeZilla released a 3-part investigative series accusing Logan Paul of scamming investors through his failed crypto project.
Today, we're investigating Logan Paul's CryptoZoo, a blockchain game that made millions but never worked. Some of you guys think you know the story, but it goes so much deeper. I've uncovered sociopaths, billionaires, fake orphans. Did I mention fake orphans? And of course, at the center of it, we have Logan Paul himself, who has abandoned this thing, leaving thousands of fake orphans in his wake. Wait a second. Thousands of victims in his wake. Now, you'll be hearing from some of those people because their stories are heartbreaking. This is the first in a 3-part series that's been a year in the making.
The revelation severely damaged Logan Paul's reputation, undoing years of effort to rebuild his image after the fallout from his infamous Suicide Forest video in Japan. He's the living example of why some people really don't deserve second chances. Dude gives me sociopath vibes. Rather than taking accountability, Logan made things even worse by suing CoffeeZilla for defamation.
Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo, only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him. He's hired 5 lawyers to sue me, which he hopes will stop me from exposing him again. You see, only hours before this lawsuit was filed, I had reached out to Logan Paul about a new investigation into one of his companies, which has just been accused by the Canadian government of being a multi-layered fraud in Canada. I obviously had questions, but before I was able to get answers, Logan's team of lawyers showed up to silence me.
The fact he'd rather go through all this and hire 5 lawyers rather than just pay people back is wild. Definition of a scumbag. 3 things certain in life. 1. Death. 2. Taxes. 3. Logan fraud. However, just a few weeks ago, Logan Paul tweeted, "Case dismissed," and also attached a TMZ article that read, "Logan Paul's CryptoZoo legal nightmare is officially over. A judge has reaffirmed the August dismissal of the class action lawsuit against him, which accused him of defrauding investors in his failed NFT project." But the reputational damage had already been done, because even before the CryptoZoo lawsuit was formally resolved, Prime was hit with another major blow. In July 2023, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer publicly demanded that the FDA investigate Prime for its absurd caffeine content and its marketing tactics targeting kids on social media. In a letter to the FDA, Senator Chuck Schumer wrote, "I write today amid publicized concern by both parents and pediatricians as it relates to a relatively new beverage brand called Prime. The brand, which comes in hydration and energy forms, is ubiquitously available and was launched as a social media influencer-type product that has the undivided attention of children under the age of 18. These same children are also the target market for Prime. Many physicians have serious concern for Prime, and I write to specifically urge your agency to investigate Prime for its claims, marketing, and caffeine content." Schumer went on to compare caffeine levels between Prime and other major brands. A 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 34 milligrams of caffeine, and an 8.4-ounce can of Red Bull has 80 milligrams. A 12-ounce can of Prime Energy, by contrast, contains 200 milligrams of caffeine. He urged the FDA to consider 4 key issues: health claims made by the sports beverage Prime, the marketing of Prime Energy, which is social media and influencer specific, the caffeine content and whether sufficient warnings or labeling are present on both the product and its website, whether this level of caffeine is safe for children. Soon after, health experts began pointing out that Prime Energy was being advertised with false nutritional benefits.
If Prime and these other drinks, but Prime especially with their marketing we'll talk about, was being marketed as just a low-calorie, tasty coconut water. That's what it is. That's essentially what this is. And if it was marketed as such, I don't think there would be a lot of pushback and criticism. The challenge is that it's marketed with professional elite athletes consuming it as this optimal hydration electrolyte beverage that is good for you when you're exercising, good for your health, good for your hydration. And so they're advertising it like it has these benefits with hydration that simply don't hold up when you look at the science based on the actual electrolyte composition.
Gordon Ramsay also tasted the drink and brutally summarized it, saying it tasted like drinking perfume.
Sports drink Prime, which was launched by the YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone's
It's a
talking about it.
hydration drink.
Oh, really?
It is sold out everywhere.
That was 20 quid for that one bottle.
For that?
Just that, yeah.
20 quid.
It's meant to be 2 quid.
20 quid?
We want you to give
We
it a
want
go.
you to give it
See
a
what you think
review.
of it.
Prime. Okay, so... Ooh, smells a bit high. What?
What is that flavour you got there?
Tropical punch, it says.
Oh, Jesus.
Loosely. You've just
Like-
come from the Maldives.
No,
How
it's,
tropical
no,
is
it's like
that?
swallowing perfume. What is that?
With such terrible reviews and growing health concerns, Prime eventually began getting banned in multiple schools around the world.
Miami State School on the Gold Coast now banning Prime energy drink.
I think it's absolutely fair enough. I actually didn't realise there were energy drinks. I'm really relieved as a parent.
Posting on social media today stating the product isn't suitable for children under the age of 15.
And then, as if the Prime health concerns had not caused enough damage, CoffeeZilla struck again, this time exposing KSI for pumping and dumping crypto coins on his followers.
Now, many people, including myself, hadn't seen anything from KSI to this point that seemed shady. But Zach had been waiting for this moment. He goes on, "Remember when KSI posted this? All of a sudden, my XCAD bag is looking juicy again. Hodl Gang then proceeded to dump $850,000 worth of XCAD over the following days from his wallet address. Now, obviously, I was stunned by this, but looking at the date of when this all happened, I realized Zach has been holding onto this piece of evidence, waiting for KSI to come back to this account for years. He had this tweet in the drafts, and KSI logging back in activated the trap card. Zach also shared a picture as proof, series of transactions from KSI's wallet, where starting on March 27th, when he sent that tweet, KSI started selling XCAD. The same day he tweeted he was part of the HODL gang, slang for someone who wouldn't sell this crypto coin, right? In fact, that wasn't the only time KSI has mentioned this holding stance publicly.
I'm holding my bags. I'm holding my Luna, my XCAD.
Boggles my mind how these guys already have a legitimate business where they make millions, but still feel the need to scam others out of their money. It's really shocking that KSI, who defended a crypto scammer, is a friend of a crypto scammer, and also owns a shady company that lies about their products, with the same crypto scammer is a crypto scammer himself. In an attempt to save the company's reputation, Logan Paul and KSI partnered with Mr. Beast to launch Lunchly, a pre-packaged children's lunch kit marketed as a Lunchables competitor.
We came together to create a Lunchables competitor featuring the fastest growing hydration beverage ever and the fastest growing candy ever. And so we did that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce you to Lunchly.
Each Lunchly kit came packaged with a main meal, available in 3 varieties: the pizza, Fiesta Nachos, and Turkey Stack M's, a Prime hydration drink, and a Feastables chocolate bar. The announcement received massive backlash almost immediately. Veteran YouTuber Dan TDM criticised the trio for trying to profit off their young audiences, writing, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." His message quickly went viral, sparking heated debates about the nutritional quality of the product. Soon after, Dr. Mike, a licensed physician and popular health YouTuber, uploaded a video explaining that the Turkey Stack M's kit contained just 230 calories, barely enough to fuel a child for part of the day. He warned that to reach a healthy calorie count, a kid would need to eat nearly 3 Lunchlies, which would also overload them with sodium, far above USDA recommendations.
You see, USDA caloric guidelines say that a lunch meal for kids K through 8 should contain around 625 calories. Kids need energy to function, and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories. And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium, which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under-eating calories or overeating sodium.
But things only got worse when Rosanna Pansino uploaded a video unboxing a Lunchly kit for a taste test, only to discover that the food inside was covered in mold.
These are molded. Okay, so these ones are supposed to be good until December, and we just got them from the store. It says used by December 8th, 2024, and today's date is October 16th. So these are supposed to be good for like another 2 months. This is molded. That's mold. This is not safe, especially like kids that are so young. They may not know what mold looks like, so they might just eat it.
In 2024, a class action lawsuit was filed against Logan Paul, KSI and their Prime brand, alleging that the grape-flavoured drinks contained more than 3 times the recommended lifetime limit of forever chemicals. With such serious health concerns, Prime's sales began to plummet. In the UK, revenue dropped 70% year over year, falling from £112 million in 2023 to just £33 million in 2024. In the US, sales also declined by 40% in the first half of 2024. The company's profits in the UK crashed by 92%, down to only £312,000. By 2025, the drinks were being sold for less than $1 and often reduced to clearance racks. At the end of the day, Prime was destroyed by KSI and Logan's greed. From selling unhealthy products to kids to scamming their own fans, the founders let their lack of accountability ruin a billion-dollar company.